because we're in this. It's a growing club. It used to be there were very few late night shows, and now there's many more.
You must hate that so much, right? I mean,
well, it's funny. There was a time there where I thought I started to feel myself getting crusty and old. Like, well, there's just too many. I don't know who all these people are. And but then there's this point a couple of years ago where I thought it just went away, and I was like, I don't know what happened. And it sounds like I started smoking pot or something, which I didn't. I just got very like, oh, the more the merrier. I don't know.
Yeah.
My testosterone level fell. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm sure it took some of the specialness away from it. I mean, it must have. It had to.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's pros and cons, but
What are the pros of having other shows?
The pros is that it doesn't feel so falsely important. And what I'm saying is, for me, there was this period, in the 90s and into the 2000s where you could really almost convince yourself, because of the grind and it's network television, and people made such a big deal out of late night shows then, that it could feel like you were sort of holding up the world. It could feel like you were supporting this burden and you had to keep it going. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel, and not in a bad way, I feel like I'm trying to make stuff that I enjoy, that I hope people will enjoy. But if I went away, the world wouldn't really change. And it's a nicer feeling than what I think was a false feeling of the world would have been fine if I had gone away in 98. You know what I mean? But you had yourself convinced that, no, I must keep 12:35 to 1:35 alive at NBC.
Yeah.
And I think that was...
There's a lot of bullshit mythology surrounding all of it. And
yes.
And unearned reverence that you get just by, once I got a late night talk show, it was like, oh, well, this is a big deal. I think it's because, I don't know why it is. I think it's because of Johnny Carson and then David Letterman.
Yes.
And the fact that there were only two of them for such a long time. And anyone who tried to come at them failed. They fell by the wayside. It seemed like a very, very special thing when really it's just a day part.
Well, the other thing is, I think it is what you make of it. So I have no regrets, and I'm like you. I feel really blessed that I've had the opportunity to do this. I really enjoy doing it, but at the same time, I do think that I always thought when the media turned late night into a giant sports battle, Clash of the Titans, I thought they were missing the point. So there was a time, when it was the big, there was Carson, and he was undefeated and he was the champ, and then he left, and then it's Letterman, Leno, and it's the battle between the two, late night titans. It's Godzilla and Mothra. And I never thought of comedy that way. It's not like who landed a body blow tonight on their show against the other host. It didn't make any sense to me. The whole thing felt, they're very different if you like one or you like the other. And you and I both clearly were Letterman people. That was how we grew up. That was the sensibility that we admired. But I just thought, I don't think that helped Dave any, because I think maybe he bought a little bit into the I must crush Jay. And I thought I would listen to it and I'd think, no, just be yourself, do your thing. I don't know. I sound like probably an old Zen hippie now, but I didn't see the point of, yes, when Mayweather fights somebody, he really does do battle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when comedians are doing talk shows, it doesn't translate into a battle, I don't think. It's just do your work or don't,
When I was in high school, I was in the band, and we'd have these band competitions, and I always thought it felt weird that there was a band competition. And like, well, this is not the football team,
Right.
It's like it's music, right? I mean, it just seemed odd that we would have competitions. And then I got into radio. I did 12 years of morning radio before doing anything on television, and so that kill or be killed mentality definitely made sense to me. That was what I knew, and that was what happened in every market. And that's where the stakes are really high, because you're in Seattle, and if you get fired, you have to pack your things and move. There's
Yes.
not another radio station for you to go to.
Right.
And so that's where things get kind of ugly. And yet you think your audience driving into work knows that there's this battle going on between you and the guys at 96.5 the X, and they don't.
Right.
And they have no idea, and they don't care. They just
Right.
want to know what song's coming on.